If you're a marketing agency and you would like to predictably get new leads, then this video is for you. Because according to some estimates, there are over 100,000 marketing agencies in the US alone. And honestly, this makes sense because if you are a marketing agency, then your entire existence predicates on the notion that you're going to help somebody make money, save time, or save money. And obviously, there's going to be demand for that because there's not a single business on the face of the earth that wouldn't benefit from one or all three of these outcomes. So with that being true, we can all agree on that. Then why do so many agencies seem to struggle to get clients from outside of their referral network? Well, in this video, we're going to be going over the 3 key elements that will make it unreasonable that a freezing cold prospect does not become at least interested in your offer. But not only that, how they then become your clients so that you can stop relying on referrals and just throwing things against the wall. You probably want to know who I am, why listen to me. I am Sergio, the founder at AxoLeads, which is a B2B lead generation agency. But most importantly, in reference to the thesis of this video, we have helped dozens of marketing agencies in particular go from relying on referrals to becoming their top contributor to their lead and client growth. You can see some of our testimonials here. Okay, so what did we do for them and how can you do this too for your own agency to get similar results? First, we got to start with the basics, which is that your lead gen must turn to strangers because your referral network is not only unreliable, it's capped, meaning that 99% of your prospects very likely don't even know who you are yet, which means that you need to do some form of outreach. And this can be through paid ads, it can be through content, or it can be direct one-to-one communication, which these are all great, but here's the deal. Content is going to be a lot of work. It takes a long time for the snowball effect to kick in, but it is still worth doing, and that's what I'm doing here. Paid ads are a money printing machine if you know what to say. If you don't know what's going to turn a cold audience into paying clients, then it's a money-sucking machine. And then cold outreach, well, boring, right? But the thing is, if you never really successfully prospected with cold outreach, it's because it's a totally different ballgame to something like referrals. There's this concept called demand capture versus demand generation, which is when you rely on inbound leads like referrals, then you're basically capturing demand that exists really close to you. So the way that this usually works is that one of your clients is having a conversation with one of their buddies, and their buddy is having a problem, and your client lets them know that you are their solution, and then their buddy schedules a call with you. So at this point, you know that this buddy and this prospect is, first, they're having a problem. Second, they are looking for the same solution that you are already offering to your client. And third, they are ready to pay for it. So honestly speaking, you did nothing at the top of the funnel here or even in the middle of the funnel. You were just went to the bottom of the funnel and it was an easy close. Awesome, right? But if you want to learn how to have control over the leads that you generate in a way where within 60 days you're having calls with people that will become your clients, then this is what's going to need to happen. You're going to need to learn how to generate demand with your offer. So the first thing to consider with cold outreach is that the person that you're reaching out to just didn't ask for you to reach out to them in the first place. So therefore, you must have something for them. And what is that something? Well, that's the point of this video. The first something that you can do here, the first key element that's going to make your outreach work is having a lead magnet. A lead magnet is an amazing start. It's basically an asset that you develop that shows them that you know what you're talking about in a particular marketing strategy or industry. And I'm going to make it especially easy for you by sharing the 3 types of lead magnets that we usually go with in our own campaigns and in our client campaigns that are tried and true. And the first one is a personalized diagnosis, the second, a step-by-step playbook, and the third, a cheat sheet. Let's get into a little bit of details about the personalized diagnosis. This first one is the first one that I would recommend because it works for almost every single marketing agency. You can replicate this, and it's the one that's foolproof even on the first try. So you don't have to ideate some really elaborate lead magnet here. You can just do this and it's going to work. And if you want to generate immediate demand for your services, then this is where I would recommend starting. So this is the exact strategy that we used to get these results here. These are 2 campaigns for one of our clients. The first 2 campaigns that we ran for them actually because I wanted to show immediate results. So as you can see, it got 132 interested responses within the first 2 months of running campaigns for them. So obviously they got amazing results there. So how does this apply to you? Well, it's as simple as reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, from what I can see, it looks like there are some low-hanging fruit that might help you make money, save money, or time based on what we've done for similar companies. Could I send you a 4-minute video where you'll get actionable quick wins? So this is obviously just a little template. You can obviously replace the stuff with your own offer, your own, like direct outcome of working with you. And, this should work pretty well for you. Let's get even more specific with some industries. In the case that you sell SEO services, you might call out that they are in the top 6 to 20 positions on Google for a high conversion keyword, which you might mention how a small optimization to this will push them to a winning position, which is, the top 5 positions. Or if you sell paid ad services, you might look at their meta ads library and suggest a creative type that you've seen kill it in their industry in particular. Let's say you sell conversion rate optimization services, then you can diagnose their homepage and paint the picture of like the avatar of who they're optimizing for and why they're optimizing, and then share a couple of best practice tips that they could apply to their homepage in particular. So there are basically 3 goals here for this particular lead magnet. The first is just to make use of the rule of reciprocity. Do something nice for someone, they might feel compelled to do something nice back. It's not just a psychological trick though, it's starting a relationship on the right foot with a potential client. It's not a bad thing to do something nice for somebody who you eventually are going to ask to pay you tens of thousands of dollars. The second goal that you want to achieve here is account-based marketing. Now, one of the downsides of automated outreach is that you are not able to get into the nitty-gritty of the situation of who you're reaching out to. So this is a really good way to make it a 2-step where you are taking the best parts of cold outreach and also the best parts of account-based marketing, because let's just put it this way. Most people would be happy to do door-to-door sales if they knew that every single house that they went to, the person would be home and they would be willing to hear you out. Because when somebody hears your offer and opts into your video, they've let you in. And in this example, they've let you into their house. So at this point, it's worth the time to go look at their company, do your research, come up with a couple of ideas for them. And then the third goal of this personalized diagnosis is just to be able to show that you know what you're doing. So, remember at the very beginning of the video, I mentioned that there are over 100,000 marketing agencies. Well, yeah, many businesses have worked with other agencies that were actually idiots. This 4-minute video that you are pitching this person is an opportunity for you to show that you know what you're doing. You're going to be able to mention your case studies, especially whichever ones are the most relevant to this company in particular. And then you're going to be able to have a CTA to the next step. And then CTA that you're going to want to use is exactly what we're going to do in the next part of this video. But for now, let's move over to the second example of a good lead magnet, and that is the step-by-step playbook. So this can actually just be a detailed case study with actionable steps. So some examples here, let's say you're an SEO agency. Did you help a SaaS company get onto ChatGPT? Well, what did you do to achieve this? Lay it all out. If you're a paid ads agency, did you recently help, for example, a law firm lower their CAC? Then what exactly did you do as it pertains to their industry in particular? Or if you're an e-commerce marketing agency, did your segmentation strategy help double revenue generated by email? Well, explain it all away. And the thing is, it might sound like you're giving away the sauce, But what you're actually doing is creating a logical conclusion in their head that's going to be really beneficial for you. Because this is the thought process that we want to create by this. If this person has a step-by-step playbook for achieving something that will make me $100,000 more in revenue, it's probably worth paying them $5,000 to do this. So if you're familiar with Alex Hormozi, then this is how you maximize on the top part of the equation, the perceived likelihood of achievement, in the value equation. And the third option in terms of lead magnets that we would start with is a cheat sheet. So going back to that value equation, this is about the lower part of the equation right here, which is the time delay and the effort and sacrifice. So basically a cheat sheet is, you share 20 emails that converted, prospects to clients. Maybe you share 100 winning YouTube thumbnail templates, or you shared 90 plus creatives that have boosted email conversion rates, or you share your winning plug and play strategies basically. So with a cheat sheet, you essentially elevate your status in the eyes of your prospect, because there maybe are not necessarily on the market right now for your specific offer, which might be a YouTube growth agency. But if you send them 100 templates that they can use for their thumbnails, they are going to use this because they haven't taken the time to create these templates, and you've already created these optimized templates. So they're going to use these, which means that they're willingly going to revisit your asset multiple times per month, meaning you're going to have multiple touch points with this person voluntarily, in addition to any content or any outreach touch points that you might add on top of this. So this is a really good way of getting engagement on your content in other channels and referrals from people who aren't even your clients yet. If you develop just one of these lead magnets that actually speak to the problems that your prospects are actually having, then you will absolutely get responses to your cold outreach. And by the way, getting this first response is the hardest part in all of this. So let's say that you reach out to 1,000 people and 25 people respond to this outreach. Now you have 25 warm leads to nurture. And congratulations, you've literally just outperformed literally 98% of the people who run cold outbound campaigns. But have you earned yourself a call from this? Well, maybe not, because you are probably going to get 1 or 2 calls from these 25 leads if this is all you have so far. And these are not going to close at the 50% rate that you're used to from referrals. Instead, it's going to be closer to like 10%, which means you don't need 2 calls to get a new client. You're going to need 10. And you just did so much work for these leads in particular, and seemingly you got nothing from it. And this is the frustration that many people face. And if you don't know any better, you might stop here. But the truth is you're so close, because first of all, you still did get 25 leads to nurture from just one campaign and less than like 1 week's worth of sending. You have this pool that many might become inbound leads whenever they're convinced that they're ready for your service, as long as you stay top of mind, which might be with a newsletter or with paid ads, or you might continue to send lead magnets and value to these people. But you also want to be able to close calls now, right? You don't want to wait 6 months. So how do you do this? Well, the way you do this is with the key element number 2 here, which is going to be your intro offer. Chances are, if you're watching this video and you're a marketing agency, you have a high ticket recurring service that you want to sell. This is where all your money is made. But the issue here is that high ticket recurring usually means a high perceived risk, long or uncertain timeline on results, and of course, a high investment for these prospects that were not exactly on the market for your service. And plus, you are still pretty much a stranger to these people. So that's why the solution to this is to introduce a new offer, to introduce yourself to them as a service provider. So this is essentially an offer where you provide a clear deliverable or a result. They pay a set amount of money, and it directly shows them what they could expect if they really worked with you. And since the point is to create such a clear offer, you can actually finally, confidently guarantee the results and introduce a refund policy to make sure that it's a no-brainer for them. You get to do this without diluting your main recurring offer, which is a mistake that a lot of people do whenever they hear something about how they have to have a no-brainer offer. Now, The risk is mitigated for them, so this is not such a big jump for them. So what are some examples of a good intro offer? Let's go back to an SEO agency. Maybe you deliver one SEO optimized page that'll likely rank for them easily. That's likely to be a money page for them. So for example, it might be an alternatives to or a comparison page, because if you can get that to rank quickly and it's definitely going to convert some traffic for them into new clients, then they are going to see that this is something that's definitely worth paying for. And then you can sell them on the more comprehensive package that you have on a monthly recurring basis. Let's say you're a MarTech company, then you might want to consider running an A/B test for them, comparing their current solution to your new one. If you're a CRO agency, another A/B test might be good, where you A/B test your landing page that you create for them versus what they are currently running, and you can guarantee results because you know that yours is super good. Or if you're in video creation, for example, then you might schedule and record client testimonials for your clients on their behalf. So this is just like a one easy thing that you can do for them where they can see what they get out of it. And it's not this like recurring service that's going to make it a very, very hard and risky sell. The key here is to have a clear deliverable that A, shows them what you can do, and B, shows them that if it does work, that they win. And the key here, again, keyword, the client needs absolute clarity on what they're going to be receiving. So now, instead of only getting 1 or 2 calls booked from the 25 leads, then you're very likely to be able to triple that number to getting 3 to 6 calls. And your close rate for this should be much, much higher than when you're trying to sell this monthly recurring service to cold prospects. And now the math starts to make sense, right? But we're not done yet, because we're still missing the third key element, which is also the easiest one and somehow one that far too many agencies are missing. The third key element here that I'm talking about is case studies and client testimonials. So let's say that you are a B2B video production agency and your intro offer is to schedule, hold, and record client testimonials for your new client, right? So let's just say, the same example from before, you're a B2B video production agency and your intro offer is to schedule, hold, and record client testimonials for your clients. Then you can make the logical conclusion that this is going to be a net positive for their business, but to what degree? Is it really worth spending $8,000 on this? A company might have the budget for this, but what's the ROI? Because, with an offer like this, attribution can be difficult, which is why you need to prepare for client testimonials as you're implementing your service. Because in this case, that means, setting up tracking and attribution metrics. What was your client's conversion rate on their site before adding the video testimonials to it? And then what was it after? How many people who attended scheduled meetings watched a video testimonial first? How did it impact closing rates? Did you use these video testimonials in ad creatives? How does it compare to ad creative performance before these testimonials were added to it? If you wait until you decide that you're going to develop case studies months later, then it's obviously going to be much harder to pull these numbers, even if you get in contact with these clients and ask them for them. But the important part here is that if you do this properly, then you're going to have the numbers. And you might be able to say that you got them a 20x ROI from this. And you might be able to explain exactly how on a sales call, which is also going to make this an unbelievably easy sell for you. So essentially gather client testimonials, gather case studies, and your conversions from your initial outreach is going to be much higher. So if you execute these 3 key elements, you can forever ignore LinkedIn posts and YouTube videos telling you about this new cheat code or how X marketing channel is now dead, because none of what I said in this video is actually new information. But most people are sitting around in paralysis, waiting for the next Bitcoin of marketing channels to come around. So the next steps for you, now that you've made it this far in the video, is to just, implement the 3 action steps that we just covered. You can also just grab your own lead magnet, which is linked below in the description of this video, to see a real life example of a good lead magnet that leads to calls booked. And then you can start getting as many eyeballs to your own lead magnet as possible. If you are a little bit overwhelmed with this outreach machine, well, we will actually build the whole system for your business and inject it into your business. This is a system that books calls and signs new clients, and it's everything that we do for ourselves and our clients. You can get more qualified sales calls booked without paying a monthly retainer. This is just this system itself and enriched leads, so you can send emails like the ones that we have included in the lead magnet that's in the description below this video. If you'd like to see more information about this offer in particular, then just, I'm going to link some information about that below this video as well. So that's pretty much it. Check that out. See you in the next one.